Okay, the 600V live pulsar is more or less complete. On the front panel, I'll be adding a 1mm sheet of stainless steel, since by pressing the buttons you do tend to get dirt accumulating around the buttons, and it's difficult to clean if it's made of aluminium. So I'll be adding a stainless steel sheet on the front panel with some logo of the magnetic pulsar unit. And continuing on, we have some good sturdy handles, since the unit does weigh over 5 kilos. We do have a heavy-duty connector that can handle the currents that are required by this unit. This plug will be replaced with a much better durable one. This is just my test rig connector. We have an LCD display, power, menu, up and down navigation buttons. So I'll turn the unit on. So when the unit powers up, it'll give you some information. I think you noticed that it was using at your own risk, because this is a very dangerous device. However, I'll take every strict measures to make this thing as safe as possible. It should be fine as long as you treat the equipment with respect. Coming to the side of the unit, we have a ventilation fan, which is same on the other end. Air will be drawn into the unit to cool it. It doesn't really need any cooling, but better to give it some cooling, since the power supply does get a little bit warm. However, I want to make the unit more durable, so I added a fan. And this fan here is at the rear, over here, to aid in the cooling. We have, of course, our power supply input. There's some fuses over here that if the fuse does ever blow, you can access it from that range, that area. And of course, the power switch is at the base here. So, moving on, we can access the menu by pressing the yellow button. So the main menu, and we can navigate up and down the menu. So basically, this is the exit menu. Disable safety counters. This I'll explain later on what that is about. There's other information about the unit, basically serial number and firmware versions, and serial number can be found in this area. I can access that now. Oops. So that's the serial number, model number. Then, yeah, it's made in the EU and the manufacturing date, and that's it, and bounces out. So we go here. These are the counters. Basically counts every single pulse in each power setting. So in the 210 volt, I already have used this. This is an expression in binary of the amount of times that this particular power mode is being used. Now, the main reason I use these counters is basically to see how well used the unit is, to see basically how much stress has been put on the unit, to get a good idea of what has to be replaced if it ever does need any maintenance. It also gives you an idea of how old the unit is, in case, say, you want to resell it to someone else. There's information telling you about how well used the unit is, or how lacked the unit is being used. Okay, there's a buzzer control. Basically, I have to add a buzzer to the unit. I haven't done that yet. That will indicate warnings, as well as indicating whenever a pulse is being delivered to the coil. So I'll be adding that soon. We have the manual auto mode. So if we go in there, we're currently in the auto mode. If you want to set to manual, we'll just navigate across, and it's in manual mode. You press the menu button always to enter and exit a particular section. So this is manual mode. If I select that, it'll be in manual mode. If I go to auto mode and I select it, it asks me for a delay, an optional delay. If I don't wish to have a delay, I'll just press the menu button and it'll get out. So I do that, it'll just get out. But if I do want to have a delay, you just navigate and you increase if you want to have a delay in between each pulse. So let's say we'll have 1 second delay and bounce out. And okay, yeah, go on to the next. The volt setting, we go in. We have 210 volts, 310, 410, 510, 610. Of course, you can't go any higher than that, and you can't go any lower than 210 volts. So let's just leave it at 210, branch out, and we'll get out now. So now to power up the unit, just press the power button, and it will start off. So, like we said, there's a 1 second delay. Okay, so we got 210 volt setting. It's in auto mode. And the D01 is the delay. delay of 1 second. And S off is the safety off feature. There's a safety, those safety counters I was telling you about. Basically, if this is off, the unit will just keep on pulsing and won't stop until basically the temperature of the coil gets excessively hot. And I'll be adding a temperature sensor on the coil, which will just disable the unit so that you don't damage the coil. But when this is on, basically there are predefined amount of pulses that the unit will perform before it shuts down. It's a safety feature that basically I've included that will basically count the number of pulses and shut down. So let's just switch that off for a second. Let's get rid of the delay to get a good idea of the speed. So let's go back in the menu. Manual, it's auto, no delay, and let's get out, exit. Okay, and press the power button. Now, as we can see, it's in auto mode, there's no delay, and the same settings apply except there's no delay this time. And you can hear the pulse rate. It's approximately 11 pulses a second in 210 volt setting. So I'll just stop that. So let's just have a look at the speeds of each one of these settings in the voltings. Let's go to 310, see what that's like. Exit. Oops. Yeah, I keep including these messages. So that's 310 volts. Okay, next one. 410. Oh yeah, get out. Okay, this is 410. Okay. Next one is 510. Okay, and finally the highest setting on the unit, 610 volts. Exit and start it up. So you can see it's pretty fast in the highest mode setting. It's just under 1 second, but I'll have to calculate that and tell you exactly how much it is. So, as we were saying before in the menu here, if we disable the safety counters, at the moment they're off, if I put them on, the unit will automatically shut down after a certain predefined amount of pulses in order to protect itself. And that's basically it. I mean, the unit's almost ready. There are going to be 5 available for sale, but I'm going to make another 5. There's a bit of a problem with sourcing the components. But yeah, that's it. I'll release another video of the final unit and the coil unit and explain what exactly is going to be included in the package. But generally, this is what will be offered.